Welcome to Sanka Empire. This video is intended to cover every aspect of your financials in the Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Program. It covers your financial plan and its relationship with the Microsoft Excel documents. Specifically, this video should help you in calculating the cost of facilities and cost of operations. It should also help you to calculate your source of finance and how to put them in the right proportion. This video is also intended to give you knowledge on how you source for revenue, that's your sources of revenue, and how to calculate your profit margin. It should also tell you what to impute in the Microsoft Excel document and what not to impute. Then at the end, it will tell you when and how to include graphs, charts, and perhaps pictures in your business plan. So you just have to stay with me on this long journey. It's about a 20 minutes video. Just stay with me as I give you practical examples on each of the subheadings for a better understanding. While you stay with me and we flow, I encourage you to leave a like on this video, share this video to others, and perhaps subscribe to this channel. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. We reply typically within 24 hours. And if you want to reach us, our WhatsApp number is displayed on the screen. And it is also in the description of this video. Alright, let's continue. Cost of facilities and operations. We are looking at the list. That's the list the required facilities and corresponding costs to determine the total cost. You are expected to itemize the facilities you need to start. Today, if I want to start mushroom farming, what are those things that I need? I will need a workspace. I will need social equipment. I will need this. I will need that. Those things that you need, they are fixed cost. Those things you need to start, the machines, the space, and perhaps every other thing you think you need are fixed cost. And that's what they want you to put here, particularly for businesses within the research and development stage or at the market entry level. Those things that is holding you back, those things you need to put in place, put them here, and their corresponding cost. I encourage you to use local currency. Now, on the assumption, that is include assumption on currency of purchase. If you actually need to buy them from outside your country, then you can use the currency you will buy it with, and perhaps spread out the exchange rates. But I encourage you to source for it locally if it's actually something you can get locally. Another thing is the operation cost. That's the cost of operation. They expect you to give a breakdown of the cost for producing the product or service. So let's say I am a caterer, which I'm not one. If I am a caterer and I'm about doing a wedding cake, and it will take me, let's say, 5,000 naira to do a cake. You don't just put it will take me 5,000 naira. No, what you are putting here is how much do you need to buy the flour. Those are direct costs, because you need to include both direct and indirect costs. So the direct costs are the cost of the raw materials, those things you need to get this product ready. They are direct costs. Why? So they include the cost of the flour, the cost of the flowers, the cost of the colors, the cost of the flavors, if actually they add flavors, the cost of those things you will use in making or producing that product directly. While the indirect cost could be the delivery costs, the telephones, and all that. So you need to give a breakdown of it. While doing so, please be careful so that cost of operation and your total expenses did not surpass the revenue you generate. But let's go, you will get to understand it with time. You are also required to provide the estimates and projections of cost of running the business for 3 years. So this cost you've identified above, I recommend here that you use a table where you put year 1, year 2, year 3 at the top, and by the side here you put the salaries, the capacity building, the advertising, packaging, perhaps logistics, professional services, licenses, and all that. Now, understand that all these things may not be relevant to your business, but you choose only the ones that are relevant to your business. For example, in the first year, you may need just two employee. Perhaps you may need just two employees. You may be paying 50,000 naira. Just a case study. In the second year, when production is expected to scale, you don't expect to manage only the two employees. Perhaps you may choose to employ 2 or 3 persons. In the third year, you may also choose to employ 2 or 3 persons. It depends. But what is important here is you must specify their salary, and all these things boils down to their cost, the cost of running the business. So when you're doing all these things, these are the same figures that that should reflect on the Excel sheets. So when you're doing all these things, also bear in mind that all these things forms your expenses, and your revenue must surpass your expenses to show that the business is profitable. Let me digress a bit and talk about the professional service. It's it is actually very difficult for entrepreneurs to pay for professional service. Professional services might include the cost of registering your business, the cost to pay to a lawyer or an accountant to audit your account, what you actually pay a professional to do for you that you cannot do for yourself. That means the entrepreneurs are not to do everything by themselves. You delegate. So in this case, professional services could also include the cost you pay in writing your business plan. While TEF encouraged you to write your business plan yourself, that's good. I'm not speaking on behalf of TEF, I'm speaking as Sanka Empire. And our goal is to enable you to get access to funds. Sanka Empire have identified a gap between African entrepreneurs and funding, and we've come to bridge that gap and make it easier for African entrepreneurs to get access to funds. So I will tell you the truth. If you cannot actually do, because there are some persons that does not like figures, anything figures, they are not specialized in that. You can write the business plan yourself, but when it comes to the financials, if you do not have a team member that can do it, seek for professional services. You pay for it. Sanka Empire is here. We are also one of those that offer the services. But if you don't trust us and you see anybody within your region who can assist you, you go for it. If you don't want to go for it, after writing your business plan, give it to the next person to review it for you. Look at your financials and give the person your business plan, and perhaps the template that he have shared. Ask the person if your business plan actually covers everything in the template. These are things you can do to perhaps increase your chances. You are at the very important part of the program this time, and we are projecting that out of every 3 candidates, 2 should be selected, because you will have less than 10,000 around this program now. 10,000 persons rather, don't mind me. 10,000 persons on this program now, and only about 8,000 has taken the quiz. So it is very likely that if you do well, you will be shortlisted to the next phase of the program. So put in your best and put in your all. Feel free to contact Sanka Empire if you want to. Our numbers are in the description of this video. We are 247 live. Alright, let's go back to the main thing, which is the financing. We've talked about how to calculate the cost. Now we need to talk about financing. You have to state how you will finance the cost you've identified above. How will you finance it? Particularly the cost of facilities that you've identified. It is from your personal savings, it is from grants, where the money comes from the proceeds of your business, that's when the business is running. It is from credits from suppliers, which is debt, or you will borrow, which is also debt. Now, let me be specific here. Anything you put here should reflect on the Excel sheets. The debt here, if you actually indicate debt here, it should reflect on the Excel sheet. But if you do not indicate it here, it should by no way reflect there. You just keep that debt column, and that is very good of you if you can do that. So for me, if my source of finance will actually be from my personal savings and from grants, I need to indicate it. I need to indicate it there. Okay, I will raise this money. The total cost, the cost of operation and cost of facility, maybe let's say $7,000. I'm using dollar here because for the sake of those that are not from Nigeria. So if the $7,000, I can actually indicate it there, $7,000. Now, the next thing is describe proportions if you are considering a combination of sources. So if I'm getting it from my personal savings and from grants, at what rates, at what proportion, at what proportion. So I'm looking at, okay, my personal savings will be about 30%, while the grants should cover, let's say 70% of the total cost, which is $7,000. I'm just coming up with it. Now, the next thing you also need to talk about is state exactly how you will use this money. This is an opportunity for you to convince TEF that their money will be used judiciously and strictly for the business. So you have to give the unit breakdown of what this money will be used for. Give it. This is what the money will be used for. Okay, I need $7,000 to start my business. You are giving me $5,000. Now, the $5,000 will be used for this, and this. Perhaps the $5,000 should not go for salaries. I don't encourage that. The $5,000 should particularly go for the cost of facility. The cost of facility. That's what the money should go for. Mainly your space, your facility, and perhaps direct costs. That could be source of raw materials and all that. It is encouraging. That's what their money should go for. Their money should not go for salaries. It should not go for no. You don't need to indicate that. Okay. So this is a very good opportunity to convince TEF. Take it very serious. The next thing is you have to state how you will repay the debt. Now, this one is optional. If you actually choose debt in the first question on this section, then this variant one is relevant to you. So how will you repay the debt? You will repay it monthly from business proceeds, from profit, or from what? Let's go ahead. Now we are looking at the revenue projections. You state the products and services from which you will derive revenue. So how will you get money? How do you make money? That's how you derive revenue. So it could either be from sales of your products or from rendering a particular service. You indicate it. We generate revenue from the sales of our products. Then you state the way you price them. So if I am in a fashion designer, so that will give you practical examples. If I'm a fashion designer, or let me just put it, I'm into tailoring, then the best thing to do is, okay, we make money from the sales of clothes. Yes, I can put it that way. Then we also make money from our training and consulting services, because we train people on how to make good dress and all that. So how will you price them, I can say each of our clothes costs 10 US dollars, and each of our trainee pays 20 USD for the period of 6 months, or let's say for the period of 1 year, they pay 20 USD. So, state the estimated volume of products and services to be sold for 3 years. So, here you have to do year one. You are expecting to sell, let's say, 200 pieces of clothes. So, if you are selling 200 pieces of clothes at 10 USD, that means you are generating a revenue of $2,000 in the first year. While the second year, why you also make money from training, so you are expecting training of let's say you are actually expecting to train about 200, or let's say about a hundred students for training and consultancy. So you are actually generating $2,000 from there as well. So the 2,000 plus 2,000, that's $4,000 you generate in the first year. Then you also do that for the second year, which is year two. You do that for the third year. But while you are doing this, be very careful. I repeat, be very careful. Don't use my figures, I'm just using it as an estimate. Your revenue should always be by far, or by a reason, let me not say by far, within a reasonable margin higher than your your cost of operation, that's your expenses. Let's look at the financial projection and the financial statements. This is where you need to get get um get to the Excel document. The Excel document is beyond the scope of this video. I will actually make a clean video on how to fill the Excel document in the coming days. Just feel free to subscribe to this channel and make use of the notification button so that when I drop that video, you can get notified. Okay, so the profit and loss projections for 3 years, cash flow projection for 3 years, and balance sheet projection for 3 years should be provided automatically. Once you can get the revenue, the cost of operations, and every other thing that has been said in this video, once you can get it right, what the Excel document is there to do is to help you calculate these other 3 financial statements. That's what the Excel document is there to do. Once you can get your revenue, I repeat, your revenue, your cost of operations, and your sources of finances right, you just need to write them here. Then you now translate it. You just input them at the assumption column of the Excel document. Then the Excel document will automatically calculate your profit and loss statement, as income statement, and the cash flow statement and your balance sheet should automatically be calculated for 3 years. I will skip the milestone. It is very easy. You can get the milestone from other videos. This video is particularly about the financials. But let me say this here. We are here. This is where you can actually add graphs, you can add charts, and perhaps images to your business plan. So yeah, I recommend you can include images to your products or images of you offering a service. It's not every business that you must include image. There are some businesses you cannot indicate the image, but here you can feel free to indicate anything, perhaps charts, graphs, and whatsoever. When I say charts, graphs, so many persons are asking how. The charts and the graph included in your business plan gives you edge. Remember, you're in a competition, and what you do differently is what helps you. That extra mile. Okay, thank you for following me. I remain Sanka Empire, and by name Mwekara Monday. Feel free to contact Sanka Empire if you have any challenge. Our packages are still on. Our training package is on. Aside the training package, we also have the contract package where we help African entrepreneurs to manage their grants applications. We do everything necessary for them. So if you are interested in our services, contact us. Thank you.